Throwaway time. What's your secret that could literally ruin your life if it came out? This will get buried, but you asked for it. When I was a kid, I had a really hard time learning to ride a bike. My brother learned quickly, and my parents spent quite a bit of time with him as a result. Time they weren't spending with me. After feeling intense jealousy for a few days, I disconnected the brakes on his bicycle. The next day, he crashed into a fire hydrant and broke his neck. He's been paralyzed from the neck down ever since. This was 15 years ago. I've never told anybody. When I was 17, I had an argument with my father and told him to fuck off. Later that evening, he hung himself. Our last argument was the last time he spoke to anyone in our family, and for that, I feel a terrible amount of guilt. Instead of saying goodbye and I love you to my mom and brothers, he got told to fuck off before he went with himself. My punishment is to live the rest of my days in shame and guilt. He never left a note either. I'm pretty certain nobody will ever love me. My own parents cared so little as they told me I was an accident, even throw it in my face when they get mad at me. I was the only reason they stayed married and were completely miserable for 18 years. I was raised in a hostile and fearful environment where I was emotionally and physically abused when I wasn't neglected. I didn't eat breakfast or lunch until college because there wasn't food in the house. I've been completely desperate for attention, especially male attention, for my entire life. I attach fiercely to any man who seems like he loves me and have done since I was 14. I lost my virginity far too young to the first boy who liked me. I tried to kill myself twice following breakups in college and never told anyone. I caught STDs. One guy held me down my throat because I was crying and screaming so much after the 100th time he tried to break things off. I moved far away to a place I've never been in my late 20s to live with a very nice guy who really did love me. He dumped me because I'm too fucked up and insecure. I have about 3 friends who I barely know and are more so just drinking buddies. I have no relationship with my family and they make no attempt to contact me. I live alone. I cry every morning before I go to work. I doubt this is really a secret. Most people can probably see how fucked up I am. I can't talk to anyone about it because nobody cares about the sad, crazy, stupid girl. My brother committed suicide in 1994. Shortly thereafter, I intercepted a letter to my parents from his girlfriend. She was pregnant and wanted them to know and asked if they wanted to be in the baby's life. I burned the letter and have never told him. She never contacted them again, and I did so many drugs that I buried that secret deep in my subconscious. When I was around 10 or 11 years old, one of the maid's daughter, who probably was 13 or 14 at the time, had a pretty weird relationship with me. We both mutually liked each other, but the relationship couldn't happen because my mother strictly forbid me to associate myself with any of the attendants or the family. We did some mild petting, I guess. OP then describes how both of them acted borderline physical with each other, and definitely was not old enough to do so. We had a bunch of dogs in the back area, mainly German Shepherd mutts. I personally love dogs and all sorts of animals, so I frequently spent my time in the back lot with the dogs. I watched the dogs mount each other and was interested in what they were doing. Yeah, it was kind of gross, but I was interested. I went over to feed the dog and saw her in the back lot helping her mom hang some clothes. I told her about my pretty fucked up idea. I wanted her to get mounted by one of the bigger dogs and she agreed to it. We waited a couple days when absolutely no one was home, except for maybe a couple of the other attendants' kids, for her to do it. She stripped down and walked over to one of the bigger dogs and kneeled down on all fours in front of the dog. The dog started sniffing her backside for a few seconds and she got up and ran. The dog then chased after her and jumped on her back. She didn't fully fall face first as she went down on all fours again. The dog then... A few weeks later, she committed suicide. I don't know if it was because of my idea or if there were any other causes leading to us. To this day, I still think my juvenile mind could have caused the death of another person. I'm pretty sure you guys already know what the replies are going to be. Jaterade said what I bet everyone was thinking after finishing. This one. I need a break after this one. And the user underneath, the Aethereal, is what everyone wished they believed. I stopped reading at, we had a bunch of dogs in the back area, and I'm going to assume they played fetch with the dogs and called it a day. And if only this was true. The story I told that my first kiss was 9 years ago when I was 14 with my now fiancé. False. When I was 13, I babysat an 8-year-old. His parents were open and he was very sexually aware. I've caught him watching porn a couple times. From the start, he was very aggressive, always grabbing me and trying to kiss me. After a while, oddly impressed with this new sort of attention and very curious about kissing, one night we started making out. This became a routine and went on for probably almost a year before I realized how horrific and wrong my actions were. I continued to babysit him for a while, but soon his parents stopped calling me. I've always wondered why. I'm terrified that one day I'll be exposed as a child molester. Pimplemouse commented, I can't believe an 8-year-old got more action than I ever did. I came very, very close to committing a school shooting. I was picked on a lot in high school. I think it was because I tried so hard to be cool and everyone saw right through it. There were these 4 cowboy jock types that gave me the worst. After being publicly humiliated and beaten in front of a girl I liked, as she laughed and cheered, I decided none of it was worth it anymore. I had no support at home, being an only child and having my parents that were constantly, and cutting and burning myself didn't make me feel better anymore. So I got my dad's handgun out of the gun safe and brought it to school with me the next day. I can't adequately describe to you guys how ready I was to kill these 4. I had absolutely no fear or doubt in my mind. I wanted nothing more to show everyone what happens when you push someone over the edge like they did. I remember walking towards the cowboy's table, so goddamn ready for it to be over, when the gun fell out of my waistline, down to my short leg, and made the loudest fucking sound as it hit the cafeteria floor. I tried my best to grab the gun real quick, but people saw what it was and screamed, and one of the instructors tackled me to the ground. They eventually concluded I had brought the gun to school to impress people with badassery and had no intention of using it. I was expelled and sent to live at a youth ranch in Idaho until I was 18. I did have the intention of using it though. I was going to kill all of them. I'm 24 now and I still think about it all the time. I have not recovered from high school. I'm still terrified of people in general and avoid having relationships because of what I fear I'm capable of. I'm not looking for pity. I know that what I did was wrong. It just feels good to tell the story. Thanks, Reddit. This will get buried. I have been considering suicide for months now. I had an affair with a married man and he ended up leaving his wife almost immediately after it started to be with me. We were very much in love and we plan on getting married. I feel so good about our relationship, but the guilt that it comes with has tormented me so much. My friend ostracized me after finding out that I was a homewrecker, and since I'm still in school and he moved to a different city for a job, our long distance relationship has left me very lonely. He knows how hard it is for me to be with all the people at my school who were once my best friends that now glare at me and spread gossip about me constantly in front of my face like I can't notice. The guilt about the affair and the rejection from my peers has been eating away at me for months. Our affair has been over a year and a half and we have been together that entire time, but even then I can't get over it. I know I need counseling, I will get some help when I graduate. Sending this out into a void where someone might read it, it feels even a little bit better. It was me. I let the dogs out. There were countless more depressing within the thread, and this is only the tip of the iceberg compared to the rest of them. Never would have expected these kind of stories that would come from this post, and I now wish for everyone in these stories will get the happiness they deserve.